All right, so welcome to the inside of the Coachman Brookstone. This is a project I kind of started because I was just going to test fit the tiles, but then I got carried away and decided to go ahead and install them. We bought these tiles, I showed them in another video. Got them off Amazon. You can get them at pretty much any hardware store too, but you might be able to tell they have a texture to them, or at least they're not completely flat. It's not like a wallpaper. It has this adhesive foam backing to it, and they're designed so they all kind of plug into each other and give you a really cool tile, modern look. And I started to do this to take pictures for my wife just to see if she'd like it before I started adhering it. I sent her a picture, she said it looks great, so I decided to just keep going. Now this is a really simple process. Basically, I just took each tile, I put it up against here, and the funny thing is this white kind of grout line that's on here lined up perfectly with the measurement right here. So I could cut directly on that grout line right there and make it work. Now I was going to remove this, but there's no simple way to do it because of the backing, so I had to cut around it. And you can see just a little area where it lifted up slightly right there, but that's pretty much it. Overall though, I think it looks really good. I'd love your opinion. I think what it does is it makes the island kind of blend into the solid surface countertop and the floor a little bit more. That was kind of the goal, to lighten it up just a hair. I also plan on installing it back here behind the stove, and then maybe some of it right here as well. But super easy, relatively affordable. I bought it 10 tiles to a pack, and I bought 2 packs of them. I think it ended up costing me about $60 for all of it. It seems to stick really well. I was going to use a 3M spray adhesive on the back end and then let it kind of cure to that. But I think I like this better because if for some reason we don't like it after a while, I can simply peel it off and replace it. If I use the 3M spray adhesive, it will probably outlast the RV. But it's coming along really well. I just have this little side section here. I already put this piece down and I've already cut this one, so I just need to put it in like that and take the backing off so it will actually stick, and then we'll be done with this specific section. Again, super easy. It was definitely one of those projects that turned out to be far easier than I had anticipated, so that's always a good thing. Then we'll move on to do the back of the stove and then this area right here. So far, it's coming along well. What do you think about it? What do you think about how this looks? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think I should have gone with a different color? Again, it blends well with the countertop and the floor, which is kind of what I wanted to do. And from down here, you can see it a little bit better. Yeah, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, please. What's going on, guys? So I am inside the fifth wheel. This is our brand new 2021 Coachman Brookstone 398 MBL Big Truck Big RV Concept Edition. Always have to go over that. If you compare this to any 398 MBL, you'll notice this whole area right here is significantly different, as well as the bunkhouse. Let me walk over here real quick. Ooh, it's super dark in there. Let's turn the light on. Yeah, the slide's in right now, but this gives you an idea of how much room you have with the slide in. You can actually still use the room, you just don't have nearly as much room to access it or move around. But if you're stopped at a truck stop or something, you pretty much still have full access to your bunkhouse as well as your bathroom, the loft, and the front bedroom. So you could easily stop with the family and be able to take a break. Today we are out here doing some pretty interesting things. So I bought a bunch of these. What are these? These are really cool. I found them on Amazon. They're super cheap, and I bought 2 different sizes because I wasn't entirely sure. I wasn't out here at the time when I was buying these, what size I would need. And this is the size I didn't need, but let me show you what they do. So a question people ask all the time is, how do you deal with the pipes and things underneath here that go into the ground? So check this out. So underneath the counter here, you typically have these holes. Now these holes go through the floor and then into your basement or your underbelly area, which is kind of sealed, but not really, where your slides go in, and there's other ways for things and critters to get inside of there. So people have a lot of problems with rodents coming up through these holes, and a lot of people will spray foam these areas, which works, but it's not necessarily ideal because, first of all, rats can chew through it. Secondly, when you spray foam these areas, it makes it a little bit more difficult to service them if you ever need to. So these little things that I bought, you essentially open up right here, you wrap it around the pipe and press down. And this is the black one. But now it seals off those holes. And I even put it around the pecs coming through, and you can see it seals off the hole. Now, I could silicone that, or I could put some type of a sealant around there to prevent, you know, those from moving. But instead, what I'm going to do is the next thing that everyone says to do whenever you have an RV and you want to deal with rodents. And they say, put a steel wool material. Now, this is stainless steel wool, and I'm going to put that around the hole on the inside and then slide this cap down to kind of protect the area. So that should, for the most part, prevent critters from getting in. So the first thing I want to do now is get this foam cut and then wadded under these rings. And I also did it in the bathroom as well, so I'll show you that in a second. Now, I may actually be able to get into the basement area and put these on the top going up. So I might consider doing that, but right now I just want to get everything set up so at least we don't have any rodent issues getting into the RV. So first things first, I'm going to cut a wad of this. Now, I bought this on Amazon. This is what's called coarse stainless steel wool roll. I thought I would need a lot, so I bought the bigger pack, which is 5 pounds. It doesn't sound like much, but you get this enormous roll, which is far, far more than I would ever need. So I highly recommend, unless you have like a 6-bedroom, 4-bathroom RV, get the smaller roll. This is just entirely too much. So I'll have steel wool to spare for decades. Anyways, I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to cut off part of it and go ahead and put it under that cap down there and see how it fills that spot, and then I'll slide the cap down over it. And this stuff cuts like tissue paper. It cuts so easy, assuming you have a pair of sharp scissors, that is. I'm just going to lift this up right here. I'm going to take this stainless steel wool and I'm just going to kind of stuff it around the pipe and then back down into the hole there. Like this. Kind of like that. Tuck it under. And there we go. I'm gonna get another piece. And when I say it cuts easy, check this out. Then lift this piece up right here and just kind of stuff it into this gap. Wrap around, I'll clean all this up when I'm done. There you go. And this doesn't center over this perfectly, but it doesn't need to. That's the key. You know, I have the stainless steel wool under here, so they're not going to eat through that. Looks really good, actually. I mean, again, this is white. That's the only reason you're seeing that, but I don't think we'll have any problem there. Now I'm going to go to the restroom and go ahead and do the piping there as well. Step in here. Now, some manufacturers get a lot of grief for having these holes here, but the reality is I don't really care what brand you look at. You're probably going to have them. I already have the caps in place. So I'm going to just pull that up a little bit. See that opening right there? So I'm going to take my wool, go ahead and stuff it in the opening. Like that. Slide that back down. And do the same thing around this pipe. Go like that. Stuff that down, and there we go. So I've done two things here really. The first one is I've put the steel wool in, which is stainless steel wool, so I don't have to worry about it rusting. And then I put these plastic caps. I'll put a link in the description to both of these if this is something you might be interested in. I might put a link to the smaller roll of steel wool because I just have so much of it. This is definitely not one of those areas where you need to have that much. But there we go. So those are completely covered. And those are realistically the two main areas that you're likely to get rodents coming in, because they're the two largest holes that go down into the basement or subfloor area. So that was pretty much it. Now, you guys probably saw I was out here the other day installing this little faux stick-on tile material around the island. I think it looks really good. It definitely blends in the other tones now. So you have the countertops, you have the floor, it all kind of blends it into one area. And again, I think it turned out pretty good, but what are your thoughts on that? So I'll put a link to these products in the description of this video. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.